I watched the Secretary of State's introduction to this statement on Monday live from my office, and the Secretary of State asked the other place to, quote, bear in mind the sensitivities of this debate, close quote. But I'm afraid it's clear from the printed record before us, and it was even clearer watching the actual speaking, that it was delivered in a triumphalist, dogmatic tone, which meant the Secretary of State did not follow her own prescription. The statement speaks of myths, but it fails to acknowledge the agency and the lived experience of children and young people. And I've got two questions for the Noble Lord the Minister. One, can the Noble Lord reassure me that we're not going to lose, in this ideological debate, the need for massively more investment in services for children and young people in the NHS? And the Noble Lady Baroness Burt referred to the huge waiting lists that are behind the report we're discussing today. And I think the statement also didn't mention, and I think we have to acknowledge, that hate crime against transgender people hit a record high in figures out last October. I hope the Minister will agree with me that children and young people seeking gender identity services should not have to live in a society where their experiences are used as a political football. They should not be treated as a weapon in the culture war. They should not have to live in a hostile society.
So, firstly, I think I speak for the whole House in agreeing that no one under any circumstances should feel that they live in a hostile society, whatever case it is, whether it's transgender, race, sex or whatever. So I totally agree with the Noble Lady there. I think, and again, I will absolutely clarify this in the follow-up in writing, but I know that the NHS have, in this specific area for young people, have already committed 18 million in this space. And of course, this is quite separate to the 2.3 billion that I mentioned before in the mental health space generally, which from memory, and I will absolutely clarify, but from memory, that is about the provision of 350,000 extra places for young people, because we know how much the demand is out there.